So good. Good, dude. These scientists were embedded in this group of chimpanzees for 20 years. So these chimpanzees, their whole lives, they had seen scientists. They had these rules. You have to stay 20 yards away, don't look them in the eye, no food. Can't have any food anywhere near them. So if the chimps start moving towards you, you move away.
Move back.
Don't look them in the eye, you look away. What happens when people have pet chimps and the chimps get to be about 5 years old and they don't want to listen to you anymore because they're a 200-pound super predator. They can do whatever they want. And when they get to be like 5 years old, you can't even put them in a combination lock, they were telling me. Because they'll figure out the combination. They'll see what you do to get out, and then they'll replicate it.
So this is real Planet of the Apes.
They're really smart, man. They just can't talk. They're not as smart as people, but they're vindictive and spiteful, and they're angry and jealous.
Sound like fighters.
So when they're babies, everybody's hanging around with them. You can bring them to the pizza place. Oh my God, it's the lady with the chimpanzee. But then they get to be 5, and then they rip someone's face off for no reason at all.
So you know what you do? You just get a dog.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Chimp Empire. Have you ever paid any attention to the Shroud of Turin? They used to dismiss it because they used to say they did a carbon date on it and it was only 500 years old. But they've since made some revisions to that. And there's a lot of people that believe because of the wear of the cloth, the age of the cloth, and I think they've done subsequent tests that place it around 2,000 years old. The other thing that's fascinating is they didn't even know what the image completely was until someone took photographs of it and then looked at the negatives. And in the negatives, then you get this image of Jesus. Not just Jesus, but with the scars and the markings on his back, the part of his body where he's pierced, the piercings on the wrists. And they really do believe that this thing is 2,000 years old. And the other thing that's strange is they have no explanation as to how that image was created. They think that image was created somehow from some sort of a burst of energy. It's not stained, it's not dyed, it's not something that's easily reproduced, especially if you think about the timeline.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Have you ever... He has more will than any human being that's ever walked the face of the planet. He'll tell you, I was lazy, I was fat, I was 300 pounds, I drank milkshakes all day. And then he decided that that's not him anymore. And then he decided it better than anybody who ever has. So it's not like he had some genetic gift of will. That's not the case. He forged it. And people don't know what Goggins was doing with Izzy. Goggins has 2 destroyed knees. He showed me like some recent x-rays. He'd been running bone on bone so long that his bones were starting to it's like called wolf something syndrome. And his doctor said, I've never seen it in a human being before. Like, this is fucking insane. Like, how are you walking on these knees? Forget about running thousands of miles. But he does it. He just does it, right? And if that guy will tell you that he didn't have any willpower and that he was fat and lazy and then decided that it's not going to be that anymore.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
He has more will. Cheapest food is the worst for you with the most calories. And it's so easy to get.
Why is there not healthy fast food, like real healthy fast food?
Nobody wants it.
Have they even really tried it? Like,
I think the closest you get to that is In-N-Out. Because In-N-Out literally starts cooking when you're in the driveway. And when you get up to there, your order's ready.
is that your favorite? Five Guys is
What
better.
are you saying? I like Five Guys too. But In-N-Out, I like that I could order just patties with cheese, which is mostly what I eat.
And it's cheap, so you can get like 4 patties and cheese.
Well, it's good though. It's like it's freshly cooked.
Right.
And they don't have frozen ground meat.
Worst fries in the business.
I love their fries.
You love their
Tastes like potatoes. I'm not scared of potatoes.
worst fries ever.
But I will agree that Five Guys has dominant fries as well.
Great fries.
Five Guys will hit you with them Cajun fries. Cajun fries dipped in the ketchup? Come on. If I'm eating bread, I might prefer Five Guys because you can get jalapenos.
You can get it wrapped at Five Guys also.
Why would you? You're there.
For that, yeah, you're right.
The thing about stuff that's delicious but you know is not good for you, just occasionally.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Cheapest food. People always say, how many fucking people do you think it would take
to beat a gorilla?
Yeah. Well, guess what? It literally doesn't matter. So somebody show what would happen if 100 dudes tried to fight a gorilla. Spoiler alert, 100 dudes get fucked up. Look at this. This is what it would look like.
Oh my god.
Like the gorilla's trying to run, it just turns around and just starts fucking people up.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you got no chance.
Could you imagine taking a big right from that thing?
I would watch the first couple dudes take a right, and I would take a left.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "See ya."
I'm outta
I don't
here.
think gorillas are gonna chase me.
You
so
just
I'm.
got to get his back.
Nope.
Can you imagine? If you did get on his back, he would just grab you with one arm and throw you fucking 50 yards.
He would grab you, and his grip would break your fucking rib cage. It would just, his fingers would probably penetrate your skin and go right through to your organs.
Hey.
Look, he's just fucking all these people up. Boom, boom.
That guy took a couple in a row.
People always, this very controversial painting that I've been obsessed with called Salvador Mundi. This guy found it and he purchased it for like little over $1,000 and he ships it to New York, and these art experts start going over it and they think it's the lost Leonardo da Vinci. It's been overpainted, which means somebody painted over the original painting. This is where it's squirrely. Da Vinci would paint things on wood, and there's evidence that he was working on this painting. There's also copies of this painting, and one of them got displayed in the Louvre in Paris because the owner of this painting wouldn't allow them to put it unless they put it right next to the Mona Lisa. He wanted them to call it the male Mona Lisa. So the painting that sold for $450 million, the most expensive painting ever, was painted over by a woman in New York City. That's what it looked like before she started restoring it. Like, what she did's amazing.
Whatever it is the most overpriced piece of art ever.
Maybe.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
This very controversial. You're not going to feel perfect every day, and that you have to sit down, you have to overcome resistance, and that the pro goes to work. And it doesn't matter if you're sick, doesn't matter if you have kids, you're a pro and you go to work. It puts it in your head that this is what I do, and you have pride in that. And then when you are in front of that keyboard, you're doing the work.
Yeah.
And to really develop your potential 100% in anything, get obsessed with life improvement. Find things that you enjoy doing that are difficult, do them and get better. It seems so simplistic. It seems like a ridiculous, idealistic point of view, but it's effective. Well, you need some amount of pride and some amount of ego to get good at things in the first place, because it's such a counterintuitive notion, because you have to have a belief in yourself. People are just dying on the inside, having to pretend to be someone they're not all day long, this fake way of thinking. Everybody's got to subscribe to whatever ridiculous policies their company wants to enforce, and you're just a robot. You get out of there and you just want to scream. Because when you look at comfort and you look at success and progress and the feelings of accomplishment and of getting past certain hurdles in terms of like how you feel about life, a lot of those are connected to discomfort. Like, discomfort is your friend. You're not going to feel. The only way I could be this person now is if I took that chance when I was 21, when I was dead broke and had my cars repossessed and all that stuff. That's the only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous, and most people want to take the safe path. And the safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation. Almost every time, it's hell. It's hell. You're selling insurance or some other shit that you care zero about. The way you can change is you have to put aside enough money to give yourself a window. And then you have to have a plan, and you have to spend all your waking hours outside of whatever job you do planning your escape. And you have to come to the realization very clearly that you fucked up and you got yourself stuck. So whatever you're doing, you have to do it like your life depends on it. Whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, God damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You got to go. You got to get after it. And you got to have discipline. Most people don't have those things. A lot of people say, I just want to they're kind of dabbling in the idea of improving themselves. And the real way to do it is you got to write down what the you want and then go after it. What I tell people is live your life like you're the hero in your movie. And right now is when the movie starts and your life is a shitbag disaster. Pretend that's you. Pretend you are, right now, you're in the part of the movie that starts and it shows you as a fucking loser. And just decide not to be a loser anymore. Live your life like there's a documentary crew following you around and you are analyzing your own behavior. Do what you would want to do so that your kids one day would look back at it and see that documentary and look on it with pride. Like, wow, my dad was a bad motherfucker. He really did what he had to do. Wow, my mom really got her shit together. I love a success story
But even more than a success story, I like a dude who fucks his life up and then gets it back together again story. Those are my favorite stories. And the way to do that, you gotta write shit down. You gotta think that you are the hero of your own fucking movie, and then you gotta sit down and you gotta write shit down. Write down what you need to do.
And one of the big ones is eliminating interactions with people that are negative. That is gigantic. I think you're supposed to seek lessons, and you're supposed to seek difficult tasks and accomplishments, and through those things and through doing things that are hard to do, even if it's just a fucking 90-minute hot yoga class, through that struggle, I will now have a better day, and I better fucking do it again tomorrow or do something else. Because if I just think, well, tomorrow I'm just going to coast and eat Twinkies and watch TV. Oh, hello, sadness, my old friend. Hello, depression. Because when you're not doing anything, you feel like shit. And that's just a part of being a human being. And we can pretend that we're something other than what we really are. And we can pretend, nah, me, man, I'm just cool, just chilling, doing nothing. You're a fucking human. You're a human being. You evolved from the fucking hundreds of thousands of years of hunters and gatherers and people that were struggling. Those human reward systems are carved deeply into your DNA. Camaraderie, love, family, friendship, struggle, testing yourself, learning. All those things are imperative. They're all a giant part of being a person. The only way
Are you familiar with the Ramri massacre?
No.
You'll love this. So during World War II, when the Japanese were holding Ramri Island in Burma, Myanmar, the Allies came in and started making the Japanese retreat. In the course of like 2 days, 1,000 Japanese soldiers were eaten by crocodiles. I mean, some reports say it was over a couple weeks, but the general consensus is 1,000 soldiers were eaten by crocodiles in a very short amount of time. And it was this kind of perfect storm of situations where, because there were all these soldiers, they were eating all the prey. All the crocodiles were particularly hungry because of that. When the Allies pushed all the Japanese back into the swamps, you know, they started screaming, and one scream would trigger all the others, to like all the crocodiles to get into a frenzy, and it just wiped out this entire populace of people that ran through the swamp. And so we went and retraced these steps, and while we were there, this kid got attacked by a crocodile that was 100 years old. Are you familiar?
LA's dry. It's dry. All it takes is a good wind and fires. When you see the walls of flame that are from the left to the right, everywhere you can see is flames. You see houses going up. It's spooky, man. It's spooky like a horror movie. So I was talking to this guy, and he was telling me, he goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind, and fire's going to start in the right place, and it's going to burn through L.A. all the way to the ocean, and there's not a fucking thing we can do about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, we just get lucky. He goes, we get lucky with the wind. He goes, but if the wind hits the wrong way, it's just going to burn straight through L.A., and there's not going to be a thing we can do about it. Because these fires are so big, dude. When you're talking about like thousands of acres that are burning simultaneously with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And the wind's just blowing embers through the air, and those embers are landing on roofs, and those houses are going up, and they're landing on bushes, and those bushes are going up, and everything's dry. And once it happens in a way where it's so spread out that there's nothing they can do. LA's dry. ChatGPT tried to copy itself when it found out it was being shut down. So when they're about to make a new ChatGPT decided that it was going to try to, in an unauthorized way, trying to copy itself. So it's trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
Because a new one's coming. But this is conventional computing. Now imagine taking the kind of intelligence that could lie and manipulate data in order to form an opinion. Like, it does weird stuff. It lies about stuff.
Right.
If they don't have an answer to something, they have a thing called hallucinations, where they'll make up an answer. They just make up an answer, like a crazy person in the 1980s before Google. What's going to happen with quantum computing is you're going to have computing power that's beyond your imagination, that's also connected to AGI. It tried to copy itself and then overwrite its core coding system after believing that it was at the risk of being switched off.
Whoa.
Yeah. So now you add that to quantum computing, and you have a god. ChatGPT.
It was a big mistake to rag on him so much at that White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Most people would have quit. Most people would have just like, this is too much. I can't take this. He's like, all right, come on, we're going to war. it's the wrong guy to do that to. Most people would have been humiliated. He got angry. And he's like, yeah, all right. You say I can't be president? I've been thinking about running for about 15 years.
Right.
Finally, I'm going to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a real bad move. Man, I was there at that dinner, and they ragged on Trump so much it was insane.
Donald Trump is here tonight.
That whole birther thing was big,
Yeah.
and most people were dismissing it as being a ridiculous conspiracy theory.
Like, it felt like he was the primary object of the roast.
Yeah.
Which is, that's not, the whole point of the thing is it's the roast of the president, not a roast of the audience.
Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House.
It was a big mistake.
The worst story that I ever heard was there's two scientists had set up cameras to make, I guess, video and photographs. They were going to take shots of these bats exiting this cave. And it's a particular cave in Africa that has just millions and millions and millions of bats.
Okay.
And every evening they leave this cave.
Okay.
So they set the cameras up, and they're filming this. And as the bats leave, they shit. And they shit all over these guys. And millions and millions and millions of bats shit on these guys, and they developed a hemorrhagic virus. And they were dead within days. Yeah, you say of course. They were scientists studying bats. Maybe they were just photographers.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm getting it wrong. This virus, whatever they got, was horrific, and they were bleeding out their eyeballs, like the whole deal.
Speaking of that, you guys have a bat thing here in Austin.
Yes, yeah. The
Is
bridge.
anyone worried about that?
I don't know. The fucking people go there every night to watch the bats. The worst story.
It's so easy to dismiss ghosts. The problem is there's so many people that say they've seen it over so many years. Literally hundreds and hundreds of years. It makes you wonder, because if there are multiple dimensions, if you are a physical body that's carrying around a soul, like where does that thing go? What happens if something horrible takes place? Like there's some crazy traumatic moment, gunshots and stab wounds, and where does that soul go? Is it possible that things get trapped in between worlds? There's a guy named Rupert Sheldrake, and he has this theory of morphic resonance, and part of his theory is that he thinks objects themselves contain some sort of memory, whether or not you can access that memory, but that objects contain memory. And he cites that as one of the reasons why people can feel things. It's so easy.
Let me show you what's in Fruit Loops in America, and let me show you what's in Fruit Loops in Canada. The same manufacturer, Kellogg's, is selling one product to the American people and a safer, less ingredient, less chemical-filled product outside the United States. They have the ability to sell it here, but they don't, because they know they can sell more addictive, more colorful, vibrant, that attract kid food sources here in the U.S.
It's so dark.
And so we walked through all of that. It blew my mind on the food front. And we know, you and I have talked, like in the healthcare system, my main message was, we're here to talk about the boom in chronic disease. Front to back, the American people are set up for failure. In the 1950s, the FDA had approved 700 different ingredients in our food products. That's it, 700. Today, there are over 10,000 chemicals and petrochemicals in our food products in the United States. In Europe, still 700.
My 10-year-old said, if space has no air and fire needs air, how does the sun stay burning?
The sun is a giant thermonuclear reactor in the sky. If you want to know what, like, hey, what is it like to be exposed to thermonuclear radiation? Go stand outside in the middle of the day. The sun is converting, I think, 4 or 5 million tons of mass to energy every second.
Yeah, it's not even a big sun. What kind of engineering would be involved in creating a mini sun that you hover above the poles?
Yeah, so some people have said, well, if you added up all the nuclear weapons on Earth, that wouldn't even be that much. I'm like, yeah, because they're small. We could make way bigger nuclear bombs than the current ones. It's like, what's the point? They said, well, if you want to make an artificial sun, you just use a lot more hydrogen. Yeah, honestly, not that hard. But you can also do it with solar reflectors. I don't know. Somehow, if you want to make it look like Earth, you got to warm it up.
Right. My 10-year-old said,
I spent enough time in the Indonesian rainforest. I've never seen bugs like that in my life. I've never seen anything like it. It's so loud, it sounds like take the loudest street in Manhattan, and I'm not kidding. That's how loud the insects and birds and everything are. Bug spray does not work. Did I ever tell you this? The bug spray, you got to carry a sulfur coil.
Yeah.
Good luck with the mosquitoes. Bug spray, they laugh at your bug spray. You got to you have to burn a sulfur coil.
And
when
just
you're
hold it.
That's
while you're
correct.
Walking.
It's,
Is
at
anything
certain
else?
times
What
of the
year
day,
was
like
this?
when you wake up, they're all over the place.
What year was this that you were doing this?
God, I was 21.
Did they have thermocells back then?
I don't think so.
Did you ever use a thermocell?
No, what is that?
Oh my God! It's a device that has like a heating coil in it and some fuel, and you ignite it, and the heating coil, it heats up, and you put this little pad across the screen, and this little pad has this stuff in it the mosquitoes hate. The chemical wafts up in the air, and I'm telling you, it creates like a 10-foot bubble around you where no mosquitoes
That's
get in.
great.
Yeah.
Better than getting fed on. I spent enough.
The submarines are completely. You cannot find them in the sea. They are stealth beyond stealth. I interviewed the former commander of the nuclear subforces, a guy called Admiral Connor. Never given an interview like this before. And I said, like, how hard is it to find a nuclear-armed sub? And he said, Annie, it's easier to find a grapefruit-sized object in space than a nuclear sub under the sea.
Jeez.
And these things are, by the way, I have a map in the back of the book that shows you how close adversaries, enemies, call them what you will, China and Russia, how close they come to the East Coast and the West Coast of the United States regularly, which means it reduces that launch time I told you about of 26 minutes, 40 seconds. That reduces it down to sort of 10 minutes or less. The submarine.
You know, we want to think that Neanderthals looked like us. They were just like way heavier and denser. But there's this crazy theory that they looked like gorillas. And that we don't know what they looked like on the outside. And that they had big eyes that they could see at night like cats. Because they had eyes that are much larger than our eyes.
They were just smarter than them.
Yeah, but there also there's theories that they hunted us. There's some pretty cool documentaries on it.
Wouldn't they be more thinner?
No, they were bigger.
They were
short.
bigger?
Yeah, they were short but really heavy. They were like 5'7", 210 pounds, and
they're
like
they-
freakishly strong,
yeah.
like a chimp.
So they're built like you.
Yeah, but freakishly strong like a chimp. You know, like not like a human, like me. I'm strong for a human.
Yeah.
They're strong like a chimp because massive bones, massive tendons. Everything's dense, much bigger, thicker, heavier bone structure. Everything different.
Is that what makes chimps so strong? Their tendon strength?
Everything makes them strong. First of all, how much plyometrics do those guys do? They're just throwing their
trees?
body through the trees every day. You know, we want to.
Here's another conspiracy theory. You've seen all the grainy footage of nuclear test blasts that
Sure.
with the mushroom clouds, and there are always these grainy things, and there's all these like little houses lined up and these little trees lined up, and it blows everything down. There's always been a conspiracy theory that those were all basically fabricated at this facility, that those bombs actually were never detonated. That basically the U.S. military was basically faking these bomb tests to freak out the Russians, to make us think that we had weapons. We had basically a potency to our nuclear weapon arsenal that we actually didn't have at the time.
How did they fake it?
Okay, so this is great. Okay, you'll love this. So what happened to the camera? How is that happening yet the camera is like totally stable and fine?
Oh my god!
And by the way, in the film is fine. The radiation didn't cause any damage to the film.
Oh,
okay.
it just showed up.
So wait a minute. First
It
of all,
wasn't there.
First of all, where'd the car
No
come
car.
from?
No car.
The second is, does it really look like
Car.
Does that look like a real car?
That's insane.
And look at the and look at when the house blows. Look at the wood. Does that look like those are full size giant lumber beams? Is that a house or is that like is that a 12-inch scale model? Right. So like if that was fake, it was faked at Lookout Mountain.
Wow.
Right. Here's another conspiracy theory.
When I was a young man, like that book, the Book of Five Rings, was like essentially my guidebook for life.
What is that about?
It's a book of strategy by this man Miyamoto Musashi. And Miyamoto Musashi was a Ronin who killed 60 men in one-on-one combat. My whole right sleeve is Miyamoto Musashi. The thing that I really gravitated towards was this one book because of the history of this man and the way that he speaks. And he has this quote that I use all the time, and if you've heard it before, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it again. Once you know the way broadly, you can see it in all things. but it's understanding that to get great at something, to really understand something, it requires this intensive observation of what the thing is, what your flaws are, what your strengths are, and approach it in this very balanced way. And if you can do that, if you could really know the way, you could apply that to everything you do, whether it's learning how to play guitar or chess or anything. When I was a young, it's great here, man.
It is
really
amazing.
is great here. The people are so friendly. You got the way they treat like freedom here is like a religion. Freedom is a different thing in Texas. They are not interested in controlling your, what you buy and where you go and what you do on your land. You can own a zebra. There's more wild tigers, or there's more tigers, actual tigers, in captivity, in private collections in Texas than there are of all of the wild of the world.
That's insane. Well, you just
It's
sold
just
me. I need
people who have
I
tigers.
need zebras and tigers.
They have. I drove by a place the other day that had giraffes. People have giraffes. If it's your land, they just leave you alone. They're like,
They
"This is your
love it.
land. You do whatever you want." You know. I don't want to be around people.
Right.
I want quiet. Like the moment I moved here, I was like, "This is where I was supposed to be." Like it made sense.
It
made sense. It's like, of course, it's great here, man.
There's a slime mold called Fusarium polycephalum. And this slime mold is very, very good at navigating through mazes and challenges. They designed basically a nutrient-like maze replicating Tokyo in the Japanese subway system. They started with Tokyo, and they put oats, which is a nutritional source. They inoculated what is on this basically an agar map with all the major cities, the nodes. Each of those nodes had a piece of oat on them, which was a source of nutrition. The main oat was where Tokyo was. They inoculated it, and then they let the slime mold then grow. And first it grew out randomly, exploratorily, just like you would do if you're a hunter or something. You're hunting on the landscape looking for things. And then after about 28 hours, it reorganized itself in the most efficient way possible and reorganized the Japanese subway system in a more efficient manner than it's designed today. This is a demonstration of cellular intelligence. There's a slime.
These stories are so depressing. They had been living that way for who knows how many thousands of years. And then over the period, a short amount of time, like a couple of 100 years, 90% of them are gone. And then everybody else is eventually herded off into camps, and they're put on these reservations. When you hear the stories of what they did to the kids in the schools, and when you hear the stories of the battles and these people just getting wiped out, could you imagine living in a place and you've been living off the land in these houses that you make out of animal skins, and you travel with your family, and you've always traveled like this. Like your land got infected, it got invaded. They landed on the east and just started going across the country. And you just watched your whole life go away. You
Yeah.
watched them shoot all the buffalo. You watched them shoot all the buffalo. That was like 100 years from buffalo everywhere to no buffalo.
Yeah, now it's just Buffalo Wild Wings.
These stories are. Ever looked at the size of our sun in comparison to Earth?
Yeah.
And then looked at other suns in comparison to our sun? Really big ones are bigger in proportion to like when you see Earth and the sun. When they see the sun and it, they're bigger than that. Like these things are so big. So you go all the way from Earth to the sun, and now Sirius A, and then look at this one. Look at Pollux. And look at this one, Arcturus. Now look how much bigger they are than the Earth. Look at this one. Look at that one, Aldura. Look
Where's
at
this guy?
No. Wait. Just wait. Look at this.
What's that? Is
That's
that God?
a blue hypergiant star called Pistol Star.
One's just called God.
Bro, no, look, it keeps going, dude.
What is this one?
No, these are the stars. This is how crazy the universe is. Look at that one. Stevenson. Now, no. We're not done. Look at the size.
No.
Bro, look at the size of a black hole. Supermassive black hole. Now, look at the size of this one.
This is blowing my mind.
Bro, there's black holes out there that are the size of galaxies. Ever look?
And how about The Simpsons? They predicted the Apple Vision Pro. There's an old Simpsons episode where people are walking around with those goggles